So it's been a absolutely horrible week, I would say, for the miners in particular, the gold and silver miners. Gold and silver themselves haven't been that bad. In fact, the charts look pretty constructive, which I think is the worst case scenario for those that hold miners. Because for me, I've said it a few times, and it's, I think, obviously true. If you own the miners, you'd love the actual underlying metal to go down, 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 whilst your miners go sideways up, because then imagine when the actual metal goes up. But here we got the opposite case. I don't really understand why, actually, because it's not as if the markets have been dropping. That's the only reason. You can imagine the miners themselves going down and the metals staying where they are or going up. But we don't have that. So it's just, is it technical damage? And it takes time. There is technical damage. Anyway, we'll go through that. I'm going to try and make this pretty fast because it's Friday, and I'll make a weekend portfolio update where I go through everything anyway. So this will be quick commodities, very quick. First of all, the DXY looks pretty, not strong, but slightly bullish. We haven't closed outside this descending. I think it's pretty clear that we have resistance here, right? The last 4, 5, 6 candles. The trend being that they always close below this descending. So it's still working. We do have CPE, whatever. This is the new way they're measuring inflation. I love how they keep finding new ways to be able to report lower inflation. And I think CPE is a metric that they use where they can, exchange the basket, the usual gimmicks. So the game can go on, but let's see. I think they're really running out, but let's see what the number is. I think it's coming out as the market opens or just before. So early days, early hours, let's say, of the market trading. So that will move the market. That will really either have the DXY probably go up all the way up here. Let's be honest, right? If it goes up, it'll tag this. And does it close above this? Maybe not, maybe just below. Definitely above the descending. If it's bullish for the DXY, if it's bearish, then we'll go down, tag this area, maybe close below, but definitely stay below this descending. So DXY will move today, but the levels that I have here remain correct, in my opinion. They've been pretty accurate. So let's look at yields. And actually, one thing I thought is that yields would go up and the DXY would go down, which is very rare, but I just saw that trend. I think that trend was there, but actually yesterday it reversed. Look at that. Now you've got the yields going down and then DXY basically holding. So as you can see, the 2 year back at this level, this isn't really a level, actually. It's just like, I mean, it used to be here. I don't know if it's really a level. It's probably going to go down to here or something, but 2 year is down. 5 year, they're all down a little bit from yesterday, definitely. And today so far a little bit. But that will also move, they could go all the way back up. And to be honest, if they go up, they may even close above the horizontal if it's bullish for the dollar and yields, because they'll probably move together. So we're still looking at this horizontal as a resistance. Let's see if we close above. If we go lower today, we're probably going to go all the way back down towards this support, but not in one go. I think that's too much of a journey to make. Probably go all the way to ascending support. Who knows? Maybe we close below for the 10 year. That would be nice. 30 year, probably back down to horizontal. The ascending is just too steep to matter because, I mean, look at this, right? We're pretty much there already. So that doesn't count. If there's a big move down, it'll probably be to horizontal. So, and if there's a move up, we'll probably close above horizontal. And then, you're going to have to extend, well, this not really a level, not really a trend line. So I'll get rid of it. It's just too steep. But if you do start closing above the horizontal, then well, we'll see. But probably something like up here, this is where support was before. Not really played a role on the opposite side in terms of resistance, but maybe we go even higher in yield, right? What does the 10 year look like? We've got this one here. So if we do go up, I don't think we're going to be closing anywhere near here, but we could start making our way. So that's what I see in terms of dollar and yields. Copper sideways, pretty good, still holding this big pump. That was unexpected, this strong move, but still holding. That will also move today. Let's see if we can, I still think these two levels are the only ones to consider. This is now obviously null and void. So let's see which way that moves. Natural gas did a nice little gap fill, come back down at its absolute lows. I really do expect this level to hold. I think it's ridiculous that we're down here. If we start closing below, which we never did here when it was really weak constantly, then we have to look for lower levels. I think no point in bothering doing that until we close below this, because this should be very strong support. So maybe we should just be honest, we should just start curling and going back up. But yeah, it's still near its lows. Oil has finally done what I thought. So we closed above 76, sorry, outside of the descending, followed up by close above 76. Honestly, this should go to 80. No matter what happens in the markets, it should kind of go to 80 because this is a big technical breakout. So normally you'd expect oil, if the market goes down 2% today, then oil should go down too. But honestly, it should go to 80. It could come back down to support if there is a bit of a drop in the market or the dollar goes up, whatever. But 80 is the next target. Uranium, this big red candle meant there was further selling. So now we're back down to actually support because this is the gap fill. So, and we closed pretty much there. So it's actually at a little level of support. If we keep going down, then this ascending should be very strong support because it's a very strong bullish uptrend and it has been for some time. And I expect a lot of dip buyers. Maybe I should be one of them, but honestly, I'm just focused on the metals at the moment. But yeah, uranium back at mini support here. Obviously, we've got resistance here. This is the 32, 31.5 breakout zone. Platinum holding its lows so far this morning. This area should be support. I mean, it was the launch pad for this move up, and this retracement was way too much. Reminds me of natural gas. And now we're back there again, so it should act as support again. Let's see if we can rally a bit more because this is a bit too much of a drop. If we keep going lower, this area here, this low is very strong support. Remember how many times we touched that and over how long. Palladium, a bit similar in terms of the big move up and the bigger move down, slightly bigger. And we're back down to support again. I mean, it should go back up. It's not a good technical pattern over here, though. If we go lower, we have support. We do have support just below. That should be very strong. I mean, look at Palladium. That's really hitting out, not absolute lows, but that's very low. So I don't think you should be shorting with conviction down here. You've got to always imagine you're the other side. Like, would you really be happy to short? You could short actually for a little move, but get ready to cover, You got to watch that trade quickly. Okay, gold and silver. We're going to get to the miners in a second, but when you look at gold and silver, that doesn't look that bad, does it? That doesn't look that bad at all, that chart. In fact, that looks slightly bullish. Put a little descending in there. As soon as we cover, yeah, as soon as we're closing above 2040, and that could happen today for sure. Look, we've been touching 2040 for the whole week, and today's I think it's supposed to be a big day, right? CPE is now it's the big CPI one, so, and it's Friday, so that'll make an interesting weekly candle. If we start closing above 2040, honestly, next week you can start eyeing up 2080 and even start dreaming about 2100. But when you think about those numbers, you look at the miners, you think there's something, either gold is wrong or the miners are wrong. And I think the investors of the miners are wrong. And I just, honestly, it's a bit strange. I don't actually understand. We'll get to that in a second. But gold, I've rearranged the levels a little bit. I thought it was 2015, and I think it was for a while, but now I think it's 2000 just because of the move we made to 2000 and it held. So that kind of ruined 2015 as a level. Also, yesterday we went below it, so why not? So 2000 and 2040, that's what I've got. We've also got this little descending I just added, which coincides perfectly with 2040. So if we close above 2040, and we could today, we'll probably tag it at least. And on big news days, there's always this swing. It just goes up and down. The systems just go crazy. You can kind of arbitrage and make money either way. To be honest, you could probably make a living just doing that, just buying at any point immediately after the news and selling a few minutes later, because the swings, they just swings both ways almost all the time. But yeah, 2040 on the upside. Let's close above that. That'll be very bullish for next week. I can't believe gold would be very bullish, but it really could. Otherwise, down we go. We could easily touch 2000 on bad news, like inflation is higher than expected, so they're going to raise rates. But that should really mean gold goes up, right? Inflation is high, gold should go up. It's an upside down investment world, and it has been for years. So 2040, 2000. Let's see if we close above or below. But it looks pretty good at the moment. Silver, I've been saying silver looks worse, but actually silver looks very good, right? Ever since tagging this was a nice flush out, and then we retraced. Support should have been resistance, but I thought it might go higher. There's this descending. Next day it touched the descending and it did go higher, but closed below it. That's fine. But yesterday we closed on it. I'm not going to say that's outside of it, but that's very constructive. It's been outperforming gold. And here we are today, just going again. So, if we go up, I reckon we're going to tag this 23.5 level on resistance. You can see why. Boom, boom, these two. Also this mini support. So I think that's correct. If we go down, honestly, it's going to be this level. So it's going to be between 21.9, let's say 22, right? Between 22 and 23.5. I think those are the levels today to watch if we have a big move up or down. Let's see if we close above or below. I don't see us closing below 21.9, this level. Maybe below 22 if it's really bad, but I think closing below this is a bit too much. On the way up, we could close above this. And if we do, then you got your next levels. And then you got silver looking slightly bullish, but not as bullish as gold, because gold looks like it could make new highs in 1 week, whereas silver at best could probably go to 26. But remember, 26 is like the big breakout zone. If you close above 26, and I know we should be talking about this right now, maybe next week if next week's really good, but 26 for me is like the 2100, the 2080, the 2150. It keeps going up with gold, but you know what I mean? Closing above here, then you can start looking at 30. And I think that squeeze would happen quickly. But anyway, those are the levels. And it's strange to talk about breakouts when you look at the miners. Look at the miners, just crazy stuff. Okay, yesterday was good, up 2%, and it made up for a very horrible candle. It's very hard to have a good candle after this kind of a candle. And this was just so strange. I think a lot of you were struck by me too. This was, and I expected actually like some trading at the bottom. It was so bad. I expected a little continuation and then a bounce, but thankfully we didn't even deal with anything down here. So look, we're closed near high of day. Let's see if we can go up. If it's a good day following CPE for the metals and gold goes up to 2040, silver starts to go up to 20, what was it, 2350, you could have the miners back up here, up, GDXJ above 35. And then you can start saying, wow, maybe we'll start filling this gap here and closing up here next week. And that's possible. In 5 trading days from now, you could be up here. And that's usually what happens, right? You get destroyed at the lows and people freak out and then it goes up. Even if you're used to the sector or these types of psychologies, you still get affected by it. And the next thing you know, it was just a phase. It was like a little short-term drop. And if you didn't sell, you're a genius. But so on the upside, we could go all the way up here. 35 should be a bit of a level. Let's see if we can close above 35. It's a good day. Maybe even higher, that'd be even better. And next week we can look at this gap fill, etc. On the way down, we have this level. Let's hope we don't close below this 33.30, but we could definitely visit it if it's a bad day. If we do close below it, you're gonna have to start looking at these levels here. It's horrible, but it's got to be said. GDX, I think we're going to go up though. I think we're going to go up. GDX, same thing. If it's a good day, up here we go. And then maybe next week, the gap fill, this might be too much. And then we start looking at these levels. The levels are all correct. On the way down, then it's going to be whatever. This is kind of the same thing, isn't it? If I move it, go on, I'll move it there. We've got 27, let's say 30 on GDX. And then below that, 27. So 27 to 27.30. This should be a buy, actually. Even if we get there, I don't think we're going to be closing below 27. And if we start to lose that, then back down to here, back down to 20, just below 26. SILJ, which has been outperforming. Look at that. Silver's had a good little time relative to gold this week. If you want to have a little positive. And honestly, if it's a good day, we could easily close above 930, this little high. And we'll be the first to gap fill here on SILJ. You could even start touching, you could even start touching 940. Who knows, maybe even 950 today gap fill if it's a good day. So yeah, that looks actually quite good. And the silver miners, some of them are actually looking a bit better than some of the other stocks, relatively speaking. On the way down, then we've got, need to rearrange it. You got this low down here, 870. And honestly, I don't see us reaching that, even if it's a bad day, because that's, well, you could probably touch it, but the chance of closing below it pretty slim. There you go. You know what I mean? Let's see what happens. And I'll do my video at the weekend where I go through all of this in more detail with specific miners. It's my favorite video. I think it's yours. And I'm going to try and cover some more senior miners, like Kinross I Am Gold, maybe Nova Gold. What are they? Harmony, like big names that I don't own that subscribers may have not asked for either, but they're pretty big. They're big enough. I'm gonna ignore the juniors and even the mediums, but I may even cover more minors. It might be a long video, 1.5 hours. So, but anyway, you just watch what you care about, as I would do. Anyway, enjoy today. Good luck to us. We deserve a move up. And honestly, if it's a nice move up, we can look pretty happily towards next week. So good luck.